Blake said, if you're looking at people, are they coming off as, how do you perceive them? Are they smiling? Are they happy? Are they defensive? Are they aggressive? All of those things will interact on how you have to, if you want to make a sale, or you want to make a friend, or you want to have a new friend, if you want to have a relationship with somebody, how they perceive you and how you have to perceive them. So what are we looking at? Listening. Leadership, understanding, appreciation, interacting with others. Those are all those soft interpersonal skills. I was a Girl Scout. I loved being a Girl Scout. There's cookies. I still buy today cookies, okay? I always get one out of the box, but I do love cookies. I love the camping and the interaction. But the best thing about it was they had a great motto. Remember what it is? It's be prepared. It's the same kind of concept that you need when you are using your interpersonal skills, or you're meeting somebody for the first time, or you're meeting them for the 5th time, or you're meeting them, or it's the person who you live with kind of thing. You still need to be prepared. You need to make sure that you know what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and how you're going to present yourself. You also, when you do that, need to know what your surroundings you're in. Is it a formal surrounding? Is it an informal surrounding? Is it a picnic? How are people acting when you enter the room? Is it something where they're closed off? Are they talking tight together? Or are they open? It gives you those clues that you need to be able to filter into that setting so that you have an appropriate way of interacting. So first of all, we're going to do a plan. Your tool set, though, the first one you want to have is a greeting, a generous greeting. You know what? We may not all feel that happy in the morning. I try to avoid 7 a.m. meetings because, you know what? I'm not a nice person at 7 a.m. I can't, it would be a real struggle because I'm outside of my comfort zone. I'm not happy. I need time in the morning to sort of get my mojo, whatever it is. I just need time to get that going. But so when you do go into a meeting, whether it's whatever, you have a generous meeting or a generous greeting. And in relationship to that, your facial expressions. How do people perceive you when they see you? You need to tailor your facial expressions to the setting. Are you going into a meeting for the first time? Is it a social networking group? Be happy. Going to a funeral, you're probably not going to put that face on. You're going to probably use a different face. Again, think about what you're going to do. Have a plan, how people are going to perceive you. And if you want to be perceived in a way that's open and friendly, stick a smile on your face. Make it a real smile, though, okay? Body language. Starla talked a lot about body language. There are so many parts of body language. We don't even think about how we perceive it. If you're paying attention, you can tell a lot more. Your body language tells more than what your words say. 10% of the words are what you hear. 40% is the tone and the speed of the voice. 50% is from your body language. So we're taking all that information, and we're not always reading it correctly. There are times when people do things, you're just talking on, people are doing this, you're like this, and you're still talking. They've turned you off. It's over. You're done. So what I would suggest to you, and we're going to run through a series of these things, because basically I think it helps to kind of revitalize or think about when people, if you're paying attention to speakers or you're paying attention to the person, Polly and I are having a conversation, I want to know if she's interested in my product or not, if I've lost her, if I've done certain things. And I can tell that by how she's sitting, what she's doing, if she's touching her hair. So those are all pieces. So you're judging people and you're looking to see her confidence level, maybe her defensiveness, whether she's in agreement with me, whether she's comprehending what I'm saying. I deal with a lot of people from other countries who are not native English speakers. So I have to be very clear and very precise, and really if I can see them, I know if they're really understanding my message. My Spanish is awful, okay? oftentimes their English is even, is adequate but not great. And I will, and if I have to, call a friend of mine and say, I don't think he's understanding this, and they really do need to understand what they're buying. And I'll ask them to interpret for me. I have other struggles with people who call me from Uganda or those places. It's like, oh, I just hope I hope I'm trying to make myself clear. I use my word choices to make sure that we have that. So again, it's part of that love, and the level of interest. People get really bored when I talk about insurance. It's a necessary evil, but you really do need to know what it is, and you need to know it so you can protect your family with it. You also need to know when you're reading people how truthful they are to you. Are they being dishonest? So think about it. Think about the different parts of your body. If you have a head, if you're listening to somebody and you're interested, don't you often tilt your head just a little bit? The head tilt. They're paying attention to you. Okay? The nod, you're talking, people are nodding. If they start to look like a bobblehead, your son. They're someplace else, they're bobbing just because they're like, oh, stop talking about this, I really don't want to hear about the cat dying, I'm done, Too many times we are so focused on what we want to attain that we don't hear what people are saying to us. That happens in a lot of our relationships too. This is not a relationship kind of course, but this is, again, if we're about forming relationships, and that's what business is, it's about listening to people, it's about hearing what they have to say, and being interested in what they have to say.